Are you looking for ways to keep your little one entertained? Well, look no further. In today's video, I will be sharing with you 9 easy, fun learning activities that you can do with your baby on a daily basis. The best thing about these exercises is that they do not only teach baby how to explore their surroundings, it also teaches them hand-eye coordination, improves fine motor and gross motor skills, improves and supports sensory development, and you and your baby will have lots of bonding time together. In this video, I'm not only going to be telling you about the activities you can do, I'm going to demonstrate them with my little one as best as I can so you guys can get right into doing it with your baby once you're done watching the video. As your baby moves from the infant stage to the toddler stage, they will start to get really busy, especially if they're walking. More often than not, your baby will touch, taste, feel, and smell everything that comes across their path. They will be busybodied as they explore their environment. And of course, as parents, we know sometimes it feels like our little Energizer bunnies never really sit still. Well, since they're going to be on the move anyways, how can we as parents help them to learn a few new skills while they're at it? And how can you find ways to keep them occupied in ways that also helps their cognitive and motor skills development? So the first activity will involve a bit of art and craft. Find a small square or rectangular box. You can choose the size that's appropriate for you and your baby. If you don't have a box laying around your house, you can get one at your local grocery store. On one side of the box, you'll want to cut out basic shapes. For example, triangle, rectangle, a square, a circle. Now, while doing this activity, you'll want to ensure that you never leave your child alone with the equipment you're using, since you're going to be needing to use a scissor or a knife to cut holes in the box. Next, you will need some paper. This can be cartridge paper, blank printer paper, or construction colored paper. If you are using blank printer paper, you will need crayons, color pencils, or markers to color your paper. Next, you'll want to cut the paper out in the size of the shape you previously cut out of the box and glue them together. And there you have your very own DIY shapes box. Now, this is an activity that your toddler will love because you are interacting with them. They're able to do that art and craft with you, and then at the end of it, they get to play with this box. How fun is that? Now, all that's left to do is just to sit with your baby and to show them how to match the shapes together. This activity will teach hand-eye coordination, motor skills, shapes, and colors. Now, for your second activity, grab a clothes basket. Yes, I said a clothes basket. Show your baby how to put objects inside. They will have a grand time putting and taking the objects out. Another way you can use the clothes basket for a fun activity is to let your baby climb inside and pull them around or push them around your house. They will love it, and so will you when you hear their sweet giggles. Now, activity number 3 will involve another cardboard box. We just use one of our diaper box after emptying it. Now, what you'll want to do is to put a hole in one side of the box. You'll want to ensure that this hole is big enough to allow small objects to be placed inside. Now, sit with your baby and to show them how to put their toys in the box. You may be surprised at the amount of time they can spend filling and emptying the box. And more often than not, you will get a few minutes to do something while they play independently. Now, activity number 4, paint bag, and this is one of our favorites. For this one, you're going to need a Ziploc bag and a blank printer paper. Now, the printer paper is optional, but we like to use it. And you're going to need paint. You can get sets of paint for crafts at the dollar store. Put the paper in the Ziploc bag. Then put the paint colors of your choice inside. Then zip the bag. You'll want to ensure that the bag is closed properly. We don't want any paint seeping out all over the place. The next step is optional, but I tape down the sides of the bag to the surface that my child will be playing. So whether it be on a table or on the floor or on the tray of their high chair. Otherwise, I'm sure my son would probably bite the bag open or find a way to get it open, which would be fun for him. Not so much for me when I have to clean all that paint up. Now, just let them sit there and paint away. This activity will be so much fun for them and will stimulate their visual and tactile senses. Now for activity number 5, you will need to keep those old egg trays. You will also need Q-tips, which you can purchase at the dollar store, or you could use straws. On the bottom of the egg tray, you'll want to make small holes. Then you can show your baby how to place the Q-tips or the straws in those holes. The good thing about this is you can always open the tray to take the straws or the Q-tips out, and baby can repeat this process. By allowing your child to do activities which require them to put small objects into small holes, you are helping them to improve their hand-eye coordination and improve their fine motor skills. Now the next activity will involve an empty toilet paper roll. Give it to your baby along with a cylinder-shaped object that is safe for them to have and to play with. I use a marker or these foam pieces that came in a set of blocks that we got for him. You'll want to demonstrate putting the object through the hole on the toilet paper roll. Then give them both to your baby. They will sit perfecting their new skill for a while. You can also tape the roll to the wall and show your baby how to drop the objects through. Also, you can use a paper towel roll to talk or sing through it to your baby. This will cause a vibration to the roll which they will like to feel. And it also changes the sound of your voice, which they might find fascinating. This activity encourages interactive play. Activity number 7 is simply blowing bubbles. Babies loves bubbles. You can get small or even bigger containers of bubbles at the dollar store or even at Walmart or any grocery store. And once you run out of the liquid that actually comes in the container, then you could just fill it up with dish soap and water. You will notice that your baby will try to catch the bubbles, pop the bubbles. They will love when you pop the bubbles, or they will try to eat the bubbles. At least that's what my son does. Now this may seem like a very simple activity to parents, but it actually encourages visual tracking as they learn to follow the bubbles with their eyes. When babies touch the bubbles, pop the bubbles, it allows them to explore the concept of cause and effects. And when they reach for the bubbles, it builds hand-eye coordination. If your baby is walking towards the bubbles, they are learning balance and control as they focus on the bubbles while moving. Number 8, give your little busy bee an empty plastic bottle. They'll love the sounds that it makes as they're squeezing it and playing with it. It is very, very important that you remember to remove the lid and the ring from the bottle before giving it to your baby, as this is a choking hazard. Now it may seem like they're just playing with a bottle. No big deal, right? Wrong, because this activity is actually helping them to improve their grasp, strengthen the muscles in their fingers, hands, and in their wrists. These skills are essential for later in life as they learn to tie their shoelace and write their names. Now on to the last activity, which is activity number 9. And this one can get a bit messy, but it's also another one of our favorites. This one is a water activity, so you will need a container and you will need to use a container that's big enough and not too deep. Also, you will need to use a container that is unbreakable since your baby will be playing with it. A plastic container is recommended. Along with the container, you will need small objects or toys, water, and food dye. You can use whatever small objects you have. We chose to use ones that we could just dry off at the end of the activity. Once I've placed the water in the container, I went ahead and add some blue food dye to the water. You can use whatever color you have, and then I placed the objects inside of the water and place it in front of the baby. And that's all you have to do. Once you place it in front of your baby, you just let them play. While doing this activity, you'll want to ensure you're placing baby on a surface that's easy to dry off. You'll also want to ensure that baby is not wearing their best clothing. Do not place your baby on a carpet or an area rug, as it may get stained with the dye as well as baby's clothing. If you can, it is best to do this activity outside. They will have tons of fun just splashing around and picking up and putting the toys, as well as moving them around in the water. This activity will help your baby to understand and differentiate between liquids and solids. They will explore their sense of touch, and they will have tons of fun doing it. These fun learning activities will practically cost you nothing, and you can get started entertaining and to teaching your little one right away. Let me know in the comment section which of these activities you and your baby liked best. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next one.